What if you could buy European farmland for less than most people pay for coffee in a year? It sounds impossible, but I'm about to break the biggest myth about European land ownership, because I found 10 places where non-EU citizens can legally buy a farm for less than a used Honda Civic, and I actually live near one of them, just a few hours by car. I'm not talking about war zones or extremely poor places. No. I'm talking about sunny southern European countries where people live beyond 100 years old, or Scandinavia with all its benefits. The three cheapest spots on this list, they are in two of the world's wealthiest nations with wonderful quality of life, yet their agricultural land costs less than in Wyoming. So ready to explore these game-changing opportunities with me? We start with Northwest, Romania. Our first stop is Northwest, Romania, where $2,647 per acre get you some of Europe's best farmland. This region sits in northwest Romania next to Hungary and Serbia. Cluj-Napoca is its major city, a tech hub that links old farming with modern shipping. But here is what scares most foreign buyers: the red tape. Romania hits you with pre-buy rights for co-owners and neighbors who can block your deals, and you must start a Romanian company just to follow local rules. Most buyers see this mess and leave, and that's why this chance exists. Northwest grows many crops. Wheat and corn lead grain production. The rich soils also grow potatoes, vegetables, and fruit. The climate brings warm summers at 24.5 Celsius and 840 millimeters of rain yearly. Perfect for diverse farming. Here is where smart buyers turn red tape into profit. When you start that Romanian company, you get EU help worth 16.6 billion euros through 2023 to 2027. Young farmers can grab up to 70,000 euros in extra help. The government adds tax breaks and direct grants for new projects. The location creates real advantages. You sit between Western European markets and cheap resources. The payoff is big, just like the payoff for us if you subscribe to this channel and like this video. This is really helpful for us. So, what if I told you our next spot offers direct foreign ownership without the Romanian company rules? See, this map shows current laws for foreign land ownership in Europe. In some countries, it's very hard to buy land. What's the point of saying Belarus land is cheap if foreigners cannot buy there? Even in some EU countries, there are many restrictions for expats to purchase farmland. Take my example. I live in Europe for 8 years and married a Polish citizen for 5 years. It's illegal for me to buy farmland in Poland since I am no EU citizen. So in this ranking, nearly all countries are blue or green on this map. If we see the world version of this map, other continents like South America are more open to foreigners buying land. So if you want me to make a video about South America, let me know in the comment section. Now, the next country just recently removed most of their restrictions on non-EU expats buying land: Pannonian Croatia and North Croatia. Here, everything changed for foreign buyers in 2023. Croatia removed its blocks on direct farmland buys for non-EU citizens. And there are incredibly good opportunities in Croatia. For example, in the Pannonian Croatia. This region sits in eastern Croatia near Hungarian and Serbian borders, with Osijek as its main city. Another region with very low prices is North Croatia, which runs along the northern border with Slovenia and Hungary, centered around Zagreb. These two regions offer farmland at $2,110 and $1,768 per acre. Of course, in Europe, they use euros and hectares, but I'm converting everything here. And those prices seem too good to be true, right? Think about this. You are looking at regions known as Croatia's farm powerhouse. Pannonian area grows massive amounts of wheat, rapeseed, and corn across its rich plains. North Croatia has similar crops, plus potatoes. Both regions also have herds of local breeds. What makes these cheap prices so surprising is that the Pannonian region earned its name as Croatia's granary through decades of good farming. The climate brings hot summers and cold winters with uneven rain, and this creates both problems and chances. The need for water becomes your key advantage. Dry periods and uneven rainfall means most winning operations need good water systems. Smart buyers see this huge potential for infrastructure growth. You are not just buying land, you are buying to a region where irrigation investments can boost output and land values. Croatia's EU membership opens real funding chances. The country gets over 30 billion in EU funding through 2030, including 7 billion from the Recovery Fund. But wait, blocks still exist. Foreign buyers can only buy land marketed for crop growing and animal raising. Forest and pasture land stays off limits. Private persons face a 10-hectare max, while companies incorporated in Croatia can get up to 100 hectares. The recent policy change means you can now directly own Croatian farmland, but timing and location matter. The next place is in one of the most developed countries in Europe and one of the best wine producers in the world. But before I review it, I have some really good news. My Expat Wealth and Lifestyle Compass, valued at $134, is yours free for a limited time. Receive our 74-page analysis of affordable cities in Spain, Italy, and France, our guide for zero-income tax countries that can save you up to $19,422, and the checklist that prevents costly mistakes. Don't let your chances go away. Scan this QR code now and join us for free. Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, in France. While everyone talks about Bordeaux and Champagne, there is a French region making world-class wines and cheese at farmland prices of North Dakota. Bourgogne-Franche-Comté sits in eastern France, stretching from Burgundy's famous vineyards to the Swiss border, with Dijon as its major city. Bourgogne-Franche-Comté offers some of France's lowest farmland prices at $1,339 per acre for empty land and $1,261 per acre for rented plots. I found there a farm of Christmas trees with 18 hectares, 44 acres, for just 50,000 euros, and that is just one of many examples. The area excels at winter wheat growing across its rich plains. Special wine growing makes top wines. Charolais beef cattle graze the region pastures. Traditional dairy operations create premium cheeses that get high prices in European markets. And this is what an expat living in Franche-Comté told us. Open quote, "As a Canadian, for me, Franche-Comté resembles Ontario, but housing is a fraction of the cost. The food is better, everything is closer together, so you don't have to drive for hours to go to do something interesting or fun, and the climate is perfect." But then, things get complex. An institution named SAFER can block foreign buys entirely. When you sign a deal for farmland, SAFER can step in and buy the same property at market value, blocking your buy. This government agency exists to keep farms among locals, and they use this right regularly. On the bright side, the region name and fame creates real value opportunities. Wine operations benefit from AOC protection that guarantee premium pricing for traditional wine types. Local cheese producers get higher margins through protected naming systems. Organic farming efforts get government support. France set aside 100 billion euros through the France Relance program, with 40 billion euros coming from EU funds. These funding streams open big chances for qualifying buyers. The value proposition of this region centers on premium products that get high prices in special markets. Traditional winemaking methods and distinctive terroir creates products that sell for multiple of commodity crop price. Investment strategies focusing on quality over quantity can generate big returns despite lower production volumes, and the regulatory hurdles actually protect market entry, limiting competition and preserving premium pricing structures. France is a very specific country. Some people love it, others not so much. I made a video explaining the challenges of living in France, things most people underestimate. Next is Vidzeme and Latgale in Latvia. Latvia's biggest farm problem is also its greatest chance for expats wanting farmland. The Vidzeme region stretches across northern Latvia, and Valmiera is its main city. Latgale covers the southeastern corner, with Daugavpils as its center. Both regions offer farmland for prices way below the European average. Vidzeme around $2,200 per acre, while Latgale has prices below $2,000. These regions focus on grain crops, with rye leading production followed by wheat, oats, and barley. Farmers also grow potatoes, onions, carrots, and sugar beets for export markets. In terms of livestock, Latvian brown cattle accounts for 99% of all cattle in Latvia and are known for their milk yield and fat content. Here's the challenge that creates opportunity. Over 40% of Latvian farm soils need liming to fix acidity problems. Another 35% have too little phosphorus. 24% show low potassium content. This soil damage stems from too little farmer investment in fertility and widespread single crop growing practices. Most buyers see these numbers and run away from what looks like expensive soil repair projects without checking the support offered by the government. The government provides grants, money incentives, VAT waivers, and tax rebates for companies operating in Latvia's 5 special economic zones. Soil improvement investments can dramatically increase land productivity and value. Phosphorus and potassium supplementation rebuild fertility. These improvements often double or triple crop yields within 3 to 5 years. I found plenty of farms in Latvia, from small properties to quite big ones, for prices below 6,000 euros per hectare. Since an hectare is around 2.5 acre, this means properties for prices around 2,000 euros per acre. Government incentives target farm modernization through various funding programs. And now the next is Lahtinen County and Hiiumaa in Estonia. In the world's most digitally advanced country, buying farmland is as streamlined as ordering coffee online. Lahtinen County sits on Estonia's western coast, with Haapsalu as its main city. Hiiumaa represents Estonia's second largest island in the Baltic Sea, with Kardija as its center. Both regions offer below EU average farmland prices that make them attractive for budget-conscious buyers. Depending on the productivity of the land, prices per acre can be as low as $1,329. These areas specialize in temporary grasslands, cereals including wheat, barley, oats, and rye, plus seeds such as rapeseed. I'm very afraid to say the name of the seed, by the way. I prefer to say canola. Livestock farming thrives with milk cattle, pigs, and poultry operations. Estonia's highly digitalized economy and business-friendly environment currently makes deals incredibly smooth. The government actively seeks foreign investments, offering big incentives and reimbursement programs to attract capital. On top of that, EU membership provides access to regional funds. Currently, most buyers are limited to 10 hectares or 25 acres, but this limitation can be lifted if the buyers demonstrate engagement in agriculture or forest management for at least 3 years. A complete ban on foreign buyers exists for a small island or municipalities bordering the Russian Federation. Estonia farmland demonstrated remarkable value growth, with median hectare prices increasing by 757% between 2004 and 2018. The next is Jugozapadin, Bulgaria. The Jugozapadin region sits in southwestern Bulgaria bordering Greece, North Macedonia, and Serbia, with Sofia as its major city and economic center. The region produces cereals including wheat, barley, and corn across fertile valleys. The Blagoevgrad district has big areas to extensive grazing for livestock operations. Permanent pastures average $1,131 per acre according to 2023 data. Soil quality supports both intensive cultivation and extensive livestock operations. And here is what creates the unusual opportunity. Deals in this area are described as nearly non-existent. Just like in Romania, in Bulgaria, foreigners must establish a local entity in Bulgaria to buy real estate. Foreign buyers cite corruption, red tape hurdles, and inefficient judicial systems as major barriers. The unpredictable regulations makes getting necessary permits difficult sometimes. Farmland also suffers from damaged issues including erosion, acidification, and salinization. These problems require costly repair efforts that impact overall profitability. Market lack of liquidity creates opportunity for buyers who understand the risks and can wait for market recovery. Bulgaria will receive approximately $5.7 billion in EU recovery funds through 2026, targeting development projects that could benefit agriculture indirectly. And by the way, since we're talking about places in Europe with lower costs, I've written 3 top-rated books on living abroad. You can find them by scanning this QR code on your screen. Mellersta Norrland, Sweden. In one of the world's wealthiest countries, you can buy farmland for less than most people spend on a vacation, if you don't mind the weather. Mellersta Norrland sits in north-central Sweden, covering part of the vast Norrland terrain that stretches across 60% of Sweden's landmass, but houses only 12% of its population. Sundsvall serves as the main city in this sparsely populated region, dominated by forests, lakes, and mountains. Mellersta Norrland offers farmland at $1,090 per acre, focusing on grasslands, cereals, and dairy farming operations. Grasslands cover 77% of arable land in northern counties. Farmers also grow barley and oats as the main cereals, while potatoes perform surprisingly well despite challenging conditions. Now, the secret that makes these low prices so striking is that Sweden maintains some of the world's highest living standards, yet farmland costs remain remarkably cheap. The mild subarctic climate creates short, mild summers and long, severe winters that severely limit crop variety and productivity. Early autumn frosts pose recurring risks that further shorten the effective growing period. The farm sector faces big structural challenges, with decreasing farm numbers and a rapidly aging rural population. Less young people into farming creates long-term challenges for farm succession. Average farm sizes remain very small, around 11 acres, while cold winters drive up building costs for livestock facilities and feed storage. On the bright side, integrated forestry opportunities add big value beyond traditional farming. Vast forest tracts offer diversified return through logging and timber operations that complement farm production through the year. The Swedish government offers incentives for businesses in economically depressed areas, while EU Common Agricultural Policies directly support payments providing extra subsidies. The harsh climate that limits crop diversity also eliminates some common problems, working as a natural pest control. Now let's go to the absolute top 2. Sud-Jura, France. I will start this one with a shocker. You can own vineyards in the same region that produces some of France's most exclusive wines at prices that seem too good to be true. Sud-Jura in France offers farmland at $907 per acre, values that might be a bit higher for more productive soils, but is still accessible for expats seeking good farm assets. The region produces prestigious viticulture, including Chardonnay, which makes up 48% of grape production in the area, and Pinot Noir at 11%. These familiar varieties command high prices in global markets, while benefit from French wine prestige. Beyond wine grapes, Sud-Jura supports dairy farm operations that produce celebrated cheeses like Comté, Morbier, and Mont d'Or. Cattle farming thrives across the region's diverse terrain. Sud-Jura produces some of France's most exclusive wines, including Vin Jaune, which commands premium prices in special markets. Comté cheese benefits from AOP protection that guarantees market stability and premium pricing. The region's commitment to preserving traditional farming practices contributes to its unique cultural identity. However, as we previously stated, SAFER red tape adds complexity through legal rights of first refusal on farmland sales to foreigners. Another point is that viticulture and traditional cheese production demand specific expertise, continuous maintenance, and big investment in specialized equipment. These high specialization requirements limit competition from casual buyers. The scenic landscape, rich food heritage, and unique wine culture make Sud-Jura highly attractive for agritourism and farmstay experiences. Visitors pay premium prices to experience distinctive winemaking methods and traditional farming practices. This combination of premium wine production and protected designation creates sustainable high-value agriculture that justifies navigating all the French regulatory complexity. However, what happens when you move to regions where extreme climate conditions create entirely different challenges, but also opportunities? Let me tell you about Europe's ultimate bargain, Övre Norrland in Sweden. At $195 per acre, this is officially the cheapest farmland in Europe, that non-EU citizens can buy, but it comes with the continent's most extreme farming conditions. Övre Norrland stretches across Sweden's northernmost region, covering vast areas of the Arctic Circle, with Umeå as its main city. Agriculture here focuses on hay and potatoes as staple crops, with barley and oats grown primarily for animal feed. Dairy farming operates as the largest livestock sector. The extreme short growing season restricts farm possibilities dramatically. The effective growing period can shrink to just 120 days, with early autumn frosts threatening even hardy crops like winter wheat, barley, and rye. Traditional grains, beets, and oilseeds simply cannot survive these conditions. Many northern areas find forestry more economically viable than agriculture. Winter becomes productive forestry time when farm activity ceases, providing revenue through timber production. The harsh conditions naturally limit the spread of plant disease and pests, potentially reducing chemical input needs and lowering operational costs. The aging farm population and high operational costs for livestock present ongoing challenges. Big investments in robust buildings for feed storage and heating become essential. Remote rural locations create social isolation and limits access to services too. But for buyers who can handle the climate challenges and isolation, this represents the ultimate European farmland value with built-in natural advantages. The combination of rock-bottom prices and unique environmental benefits create opportunities unavailable anywhere else on the continent. But what if instead of rural life, you would prefer the small town life in a Mediterranean country with kind neighbors, sunshine, and beach nearby? Exactly for that I made my most important video ever, with the best cities to move to in Europe. By far our greatest video, and you can watch it by clicking on this icon here on your left. Enjoy my Patreon for all the sources, charts, and maps from our videos, plus a chat, so I can answer your questions. Tier 2 includes my top 3 books on living and retiring abroad. Scan the QR code today.